Hey guys, it's Jules from the band Setyoursails, and you're listening to Brutally Hera. What's that again? Brutally?
Delicious
Oh man.
podcast.
Okay. And you're listening to Brutally Delicious Podcast. Hey Bruce, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm very, very good. I was looking forward.
Yeah, I think we got all mixed up last time. I'm sorry. I don't know if that was my fault or how that worked out, but
All good. All good.
I schedule.
We made
try
it.
we try and schedule these like once a month on a Tuesday, and we do I don't know like 8 or 10 in a sequence of a day. So because my partners usually join me, and they're in Finland and in northern DC, so we kind of do them all in a day, and then I have a bunch to pick from during
Yeah.
the. So I kind of screwed that up, but either way, thanks again. You guys are in
Never
Germany,
mind.
right?
Yeah. We're based in Germany, in
Are you guys
Cologne,
opening?
actually.
Are you guys opening up over there? Is it starting to get back to normal?
Man, I have no clue. I don't know, man. It's crazy over here. They opened everything up and then they closed it again, and I'm not even following it anymore. I don't know. Whatever. When our managers say we're going on tour, then then that's all the info I need. But it's driving me crazy. All these COVID stuff
Yeah,
going on here.
everybody's had enough of it for 2 years. But luckily, here
Yeah.
in the States, I don't know, luckily, not luckily, however you see it, we're opening up a little bit more, and lots of people are touring
Yeah.
and able to get to shows, and you can start doing things a little more than you had been, which is nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. But it had to be, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we're stuck in the shit for like 2 years, and I believe it's time to keep going and start touring and stuff.
I mean, you have to, because musicians like yourself, I mean, this is what you do for a living. So how do you take it away for 2 years? People, you have to get out there no matter what, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say fortunately, but like not really. We all still have our jobs, so we're working in different areas, and we
Right.
still have that. But like for like full-time musicians, it's definitely, I don't know. I mean, I believe they took some other jobs completely out of
Right.
the
You would
music
have to.
biz. Yeah, you had to. Yeah. And yeah, fortunately we still have some normal jobs. So yeah, but we're ready to go.
I
Actually,
imagine.
we can't wait.
What was it? This is like, I think this is your second record, correct? Is that what I read? Nightfall?
Yeah, I would say it's the first real record. The
Oh,
first
Nightfall. Right.
one was like a self-release demo-ish kind of release, which you just throw out to be able to play shows and stuff. But I would say like Nightfall is the first real record.
What was it like trying to write this during this whole nonsense we're talking about? Was it a lot? I mean, obviously it was a lot different than the first time you wrote a record, but how did you cope?
Actually, I believe we started writing the record in 2019,
Oh, okay. So
when we
before.
were still on the road, and we were writing stuff like in between playing shows, and I believe we went in the studio mid 2020, like somewhere around about like August, and it was like right before the first real lockdown took place here in Germany, so we were lucky to go in the studio before everything
Right.
got shut down and went totally crazy over here. And so, by the time we wrote Nightfall, I was going through some real heavy mental issue stuff. And after that, I would say, fortunately, after I had that, COVID kicked in, because I believe if both would have taken place at the same time, I don't know, man. It would have been too heavy. But yeah, fortunately, we wrote the album before COVID kicked in here in Germany.
So you said you were dealing with some sort of, some mental stuff. Were you able to channel that into the record and into the writing and make it sort of cathartic?
Yeah, 100%. I always say that this was like self-therapy sessions, like writing this record. And I know I said this in a lot of interviews before, but it really is the most honestly written personal thing I ever wrote and put out. So it was actually a little scary because, you know, when by the time we wrote Nightfall, we had no clue that we would sign a worldwide record
Right.
deal, you know. So we just wrote it for ourselves and wrote our songs, and then suddenly our managers came up with Napalm, and we were like, what the hell is
Right.
going
Hell
on?
yeah.
So let's do it. And yeah, but definitely it was a good, it was, I mean, it was right. It was also scary because it is so personally, but I'm very proud of myself that I was able to open up so much.
Do you ever find it, I mean, obviously it's difficult to put yourself out there, but do you ever find it too vulnerable? Do you ever like cross a line? You're like, ah, shit, I shouldn't have gone there. I put too much out there. Or do you just not care and spill your guts?
I was struggling for for a while. Yeah, 100%. Because you know, as I already said, I wrote it basically for myself, and I didn't think about anything at the time I wrote the lyrics for Nightfall. So I would just sit down and write the songs. And when I actually realized what that really means, because I mean, it's out there worldwide and the lyrics are out, and that was actually scaring the shit out of me because
Right.
I was like, holy shit, what have I done? Like, this is
Right.
my entire life history and my story, and like people can actually read it. And yeah, but you know what? The songs which helped me the most personally when I was a teenager were the songs which were written like that. Like, honestly, like, you know, people
You connect
really
with more.
said them. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? It is true. You know, it is what it is. I was going through that stuff by the time. And yeah, it's a part of my history if I want it or not. And it's
Right.
out there. So
So putting it out there, and I mean, I know you said you wrote it for yourself and you know, and for your own well-being, but obviously we're talking about it connecting with people. How does it feel when, you know, it connects with somebody clear on the other side of the globe across their laptop or somewhere, knowing that emotion and that feeling that you had in the studio is, you know, changing somebody's life on the other end? That's got to be the great big payoff, right?
yeah, I'm still in shock, actually. It took like a month straight for me to write all the messages I got, and like to fully understand and comprehend what that really meant. Because, you know, you always say that, like, if that means something for another person, that would mean so much to me. But if you actually get a message, and I got a lot of messages from people all across the globe, I was blown away because I don't know, I still can't really comprehend it. It's insane, and it's like the best. It's honestly the best feeling and the best compliment you can get as a songwriter.
I think music, and especially heavy music, has a way of really connecting more so than, you know, a lot of like pop or country or whatever. I think there's something, and maybe it's because it's so emotional. I mean, you translate, not really translate, but you shift between like clean vocals to really deep guttural stuff, and it's so smooth and emotional that, I mean, I think you can feel it, and I think the fans realize it too. Right? It's honest and organic.
Yeah. And you know what? The first time I got into shouting actually was I listened to Beartooth, to the song "The Lines," and man, he's like switching between cleans and the shout part, like by the end of the chorus, I believe. And when I heard that for the first time, I was like blown away. I was like, wow, this is like insane. You can put so much more emotion into your vocals when you're actually shouting it out. It has so much more meaning. And that was the point when I realized I need to do that, because as you already said,
Right. The contrast too is good though, right? Because you go from the ethereal kind of melodic vocal lines to this, you know, punch in the gut kind of stuff, and you feel it. You're right.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I love about heavy music, is that you are actually able to switch between these different vocal styles, and it does bring a different color to everything, because you're actually shouting it out. I mean, if you're in an argument with someone and you say something in a calm kind of way, it has a completely different meaning if you shout it. So this is I got blown away by Beartooth when I listened to them for the first time, and I knew that I need to to put that in my own songs.
What was it like writing this album? Are you guys writing like the song for the song's sake, or are you writing the song for how it's going to come across, like in the live setting on stage?
Um, very, very differently. I believe. I mean, there are songs on the record which I had on my computer for like 5 years or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
I wrote, yeah. For example, Deadline was a song that was on my computer for 5 years because I always felt like it doesn't really fit with Setyoursails. I don't know,
Mhm.
it just didn't feel right. But when I listened to the whole album as a whole, with the context and everything, I was like, this fits 100% because it's a lot about depression and dealing with that, and having depression, you're not always in the same mood. There's you go through a roller coaster of emotions, and then I listened to that line on my computer and I was like, this fits 100%. But sometimes it was like Andre, our guitarist with whom I'm writing the songs, had an idea for a song, and then he sent me the instrumentals, and then I would write the lyrics for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I wrote a song completely myself, and then we put it on a record, or Andre and I sat together and then we wrote it together.
Right.
But I mean, I would say like "Fuck Off" was the only song which we really wrote on purpose. I was like, we were sitting together, and I was like, man, we need a live song. We need something rock and roll-ish, straight in your face.
Right.
A song which we can involve people in. Yeah, but for the most part, we just wrote it out of our hearts. I sometimes don't even know where the melodies came from or something. I don't know. It just happened.
Okay. I want to shift back to the lyrics again in the songs just for a second because you kind of touched on something. Is there something you want your fans or listeners to walk away from after listening to a Setyoursails record, specifically Nightfall or seeing a show?
Yeah, I would, you know, I would like people to understand that it is okay to not be okay. I know that a lot of people are struggling with depression, anxiety, and shit like that. And I know that a lot of people aren't, they feel like they're not allowed to talk about it. But in fact, if you open up, you will understand that there's so much support and love around you. And, sometimes you just really have to give people a chance to dive into your world because, I just can't speak about myself because
Sure.
I love to dig myself into a hole and like, stay in bed for weeks on end and like totally cut myself off. And what I've learned is that sometimes one message can change everything. Like even from other people's perspective, if you know someone who's struggling with depression, keep staying in contact, keep writing messages, say them that you love them, that you care for them, that they can talk to you anytime. Even if they don't respond, it can mean so much. And I just really believe that it's very important to be honest about yourself and, to understand that you're never alone. I believe that this is the most, like, even the outstanding sentence of the entire record is that there's always love around you, and you have to sometimes reach out your hand.
Right. And I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a super tough thing when you're in that spot, but knowing that sort of we're all in this together, and especially everything's compounded with, the last 2 years, you kind of just got to look out for it's like the golden rule, right? Looking out for your neighbor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, COVID really forced even people who haven't experienced something like that before, forced them to dive into that. I mean, even if they weren't really dealing with depression, like actually depression,
Right.
but like being in a depressive mood, even like just dipping your toes into that makes you feel like, oh, maybe people who are actually suffering from depression just feel that way, maybe 10 times more intense or
Right.
whatever it is. So I believe this is the only positive thing, if you can label it like that which we can take out of this whole fucked up situation, that at least people have more understanding for each other.
Right. So I'm going to disagree with you for a second, if you'll allow me. I think that there's sort of going to be a cultural or artistic revolution coming up, right? A renaissance, because everybody has been locked away creating and funneling all this stuff. I think when this is over, you're going to see an explosion of like creativity like we've never seen.
Yeah, and I also believe that the shows are going to be sick. I believe that people will freak the fuck out, and also the artists will freak the fuck out. Right. The first show is going to be like partying, like really sick rock and roll shows. And yeah, I believe that this is going to be sick. And I believe also, I've seen a lot of our friends, like a lot of bands we know, they all are in studio right now because they had so much stuff to get out of their heads. And so there's going to be a lot of great stuff and a lot of like great feelings playing
and people were locked home, so they've had a chance to really fine tune it and tweak it and get it right. And I think we're going to be like blown away by what comes out. And to your point, I haven't been to a show in forever either, so I'm going to be, just as excited as you are to play. I'm going to be excited to be, with the, my metal brethren and hanging out in the crowd and drinking a beer with the people I haven't seen in forever. So the energy is going to be insane all around.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, it's going to be sick. And I just really can't wait to start touring, because we actually haven't toured for I believe even more than 2 years. I don't even know. I can't even remember the last show we played. It feels unreal. So, we all going to freak out. It's going to be a huge party.
Are you nervous about it with the prospect of tours coming up now? Are you nervous about getting back on stage after such a time off?
No, not at all. I'm just super excited. This is the stage is my safe place. This is where I feel most comfortable at. Never been scared or nervous. I'm just really excited. And I just really can't wait. It really feels like I want it and I can't. This is like insane. But yeah, I'm just going to freak out. I will probably cry on stage just because it will be overwhelming.
Right. Happy cry, though.
Yeah. 100% happy cry. Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
Are you, do you have any tour dates that you can mention yet, or is that still too early?
No, we have a support tour coming up. We're supporting NSOK this May, and it looks pretty good. So we postponed it for 3 times, but it finally looks like it will take place in, it's only like 2 months ago or something. And really
How long of a run?
It's going to be like a month straight, I believe. That's something beautiful. Like that. Yeah. Yeah.
So 0 to 100 in a day, right? You'd be right on.
Yes. Yes, man. It's gonna be sick. I would be like in my territory again, and it's gonna be it's gonna feel awesome. I know it. We all gonna freak out.
Oh yeah. So what's next for Set Your Sails besides the tour? What do you got coming up? Any more singles or?
There will be something this year, and we're actually back in the studio. I mean, not like physically, but we're writing, and we have a lot of demos. So we hope we can get back in the studio and really record everything by the end of this year. And we just try to play as many shows as possible. We have an awesome team behind us, awesome crew, and we just really try to get booked for as many shows and festivals as possible. Nice. Yes, so definitely shows and more music and more time with friends and crew and stuff like that. So
and the Napalm deal was just the icing on the cake, right? Because they're great. We do a lot of work with them. That's beautiful.
This is I still don't understand why they took us, but these people are insane. Like seriously, I really mean that, because I'm a person, I like picking the people I work with wisely, because it's my baby, it's my music. So people have to be as dedicated to it as I am.
And they have to get it. And these people are, I'm in contact on a daily basis with these guys, and they are working 24/7 to push us. And it's just, these people are awesome. I'm really happy with their label. Awesome. So before we go, can I get you to drop your socials and all your info where people can find you online?
Yeah, sure. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hit us up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And we haven't figured out TikTok yet because I don't know.
I haven't
Probably we're
figured
too
it out
old for
either.
it.
I don't know how to
We're
use it.
probably too old for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so it's always gonna be Set Your Sails Band. And it would be awesome if you could give us a follow. We try to post as much stuff as we can and try to keep everyone posted and try to be as transparent as we can be. And there will be some awesome news very soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time. Sorry we got delayed, but I'm glad we finally got to make it up.
Never mind. This was an awesome interview. So thank you so much for your time, Bruce.
Hope that wasn't too bad. I know we kind of meandered a little, but I'd just like to talk.
It was awesome.
Okay, great.
It was awesome. I think it's going to turn out great. So
hey,
thank
stay
you,
safe.
man.
Take care, my friend.
You too.
All right, bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.